Hey everybody, so this is decidedly not the next episode of Point Man's Mind 2. My co-host Doc was unavailable to join me, so instead of leaving you all with nothing, I thought, hey, let's go to replay mission. Instead of leaving you all with nothing, I thought, why not just do a normal Let's Play and show what things are like when you play as Fettel as opposed to Point Man. Granted, my Point Man is not played the proper. Just ignore that. I can get all that back. My Point Man is not played the proper way because I, probably should be using the, slow mo more often.
We were brothers.
I was considering doing like a Fettel's Mind, but I'm not sure I can do that voice consistently. We were brothers, you and I. Yeah, I can't quite hit that. But I thought it'd be interesting to show things from Fettel perspective because he plays a lot different than Point Man over there.
I can't make it out of here on my own.
I agree we must escape, but for her...
It's also interesting just seeing how different things are. Poof. I think he's got a possession. I don't really remember. How can he open doors if he's a ghost? I think that's my melee. This is not a bad series. I've actually enjoyed the series a lot. You can do Jedi shit. Alright, so once you possess a body, you're actually pretty similar. You can burn out. Oop, you can just turn it into goo. Anyways, I've always enjoyed the Fear series from when the first game came out. And I was excited to continue to play. For Point Man's Mind 2 Point Man's Mind was obviously inspired by Freeman's Mind, a series I really enjoyed. And Fettel's actually pretty fun. So I think you have a meter for how long you can be inside of a body, and I think killing people extends that meter. It's been a while since I've done this. Yeah, see, I picked up the weird thing on the ground and I got new stuff.
How quickly it all returns to you.
Anyway, so after watching some oh, I can't go through there. Oh, I'm thinking of a different spot. Nope, wrong button. I wanted to crouch. I wanted to do the running thing, but the slide kick. Yeah, the awesome slide kick. But, yeah, you don't have that. But, okay. I keep getting off track because I'm trying to remember how to play as Fettel. Also, you can just like lose a body, whatever. I think I'm not gonna try that though. Right. So after Freeman's Mind, I thought I want to do a series like this because a few other Mind series had come out at the time. I think Barney's Mind had come out, and there was there's the Gearbox game. I don't remember what it was though. There's the other. It was from when you were playing the military guy in Half-Life. Ooh, good jump. Didn't help you. So I always liked the Fear series. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the universe. I enjoy the story, even if I probably misunderstand a lot of things. Sometimes purposefully. Sometimes my story is more fun for me. But that was pretty funny. But then my buddy Brandon, whom you notice in the credits of 2, I believe, he helped me write Beckett's Mind. He kind of encouraged me to do a Point Man's Mind because I always enjoyed voice acting. I had done a few amateur voice acting projects at that point. I thought this would be a good way to do a fun Mind series, and that's how we came to the first Point Man's Mind, which, with the way I did it, the way I do all the series, is it's all done live. These are live commentary as I do the game. Very rarely do I go back and edit things in. or make changes because I didn't like something or something just didn't work out. My humor has changed a lot since then, but yeah, I like to think I don't swear as much. I probably do, but rewatching the original Point Man's Mind, man, I say goddamn like a lot, like a lot. Like it is like a catchphrase, you know. But yeah, barely anything would ever be planned. I'd just go in, and whatever jokes or rants I'd do would be just based on whatever was happening. Possibly one of my favorites. Oh yeah, I can just go into cover. The production of the... So I'll get into like favorite jokes and stuff later. The production of the original Point Man's Mind was done with Wegame, whoever they pronounced that, as a screen recording program. And I believe I also used Audacity back then. Audacity pretty much being my favorite recording program. I use it for the podcasts as well. Anyways, and yeah, I would just hop into the game, start recording, and then just make up commentary. Pretty simple, and I think I used something like Windows Movie Maker in the beginning. That is a terrible choice. Eventually I sprung for Premiere as my video editing program, and recently I've gotten Premiere Pro, which is pretty awesome. I've gotten a lot of use out of that. Actually, one of my main things for Premiere Pro was to do multi-video recording, because I eventually multi-video editing, because I eventually wanted to do more Let's Plays with the rest of the team that I got. I'm about to leave the body. Oh no! Oh no! Got it. I think there's a challenge for staying in a body for X amount of time. Anyways. As I was saying, Premiere is my current video editing platform of choice. Oh, grenades. Just gonna move over here real quick. I don't know how they're shooting a ghost. Apparently a ghost is just tangible enough. There's the button. I could not remember the button. Haha, that's funny. So, yeah, one thing I wanted to use with, there we go. One thing I wanted to use with this series, with these, you know, Let's Play Fear 3, was for people to ask me any questions that they had regarding Point Man's Mind, Beckett's Mind, or Point Man's Mind's 2R. I called 2R because I decided to call it the Return. I just thought it was more interesting that way. Because really, the problem is I wasn't really sure. So this is Fear 3, but the second Point Man. So it's Point Man's Mind 2, but it's not, you know, Mind 2. It's Mind 3. So I'm just rambling a bit. I didn't come in here with any prepared notes. Just wanted to get through this first level, get through this Fettel. Pretty similar. You could do this without possession, but it's much harder. There's a bit later in the game where you don't have anything you can possess. There's just dogs, I think. Suspend and throw. That's a grenade. Oh. Let me hop out of this body. So that didn't work. Probably should have read that. Anyways, so like I said, didn't really have an agenda for this. I could talk about some of my favorite jokes. One of my consistently favorite jokes from my series so far is all they gave me was a goddamn rifle. Pistol! I said pistol! And I just love that because it is legit a flub. Like, it is legit. I meant to say all they gave me was a pistol. But I said rifle. And it just became one of my favorite things ever. And I think a lot of a lot of things just came out in those early videos that I just ran with really fun running gags. Looping paths was pretty early. Speaking of looping paths, I don't think I actually went back into this section during the Mind series. There's a lot of places I don't go in the Mind series. It's not for like any like timing or anything like that. It's just because I don't know they're there, or I forgot to go there, or I'm just rushing. I'm just going through the game with the commentary. And it doesn't really. Yeah, I just don't think about it. Stop shooting me. Looping Path is another favorite joke of mine. Hope to bring that back at some point. There's a grabbable thing here. Yeah. Strong Goddamn Rat, I especially loved. If there was one thing I would change from that first episode, is when I misspeak hobo as homo, and I just thought, you know, that wasn't really necessary. I could have, yeah, I had a different sense of humor. I wasn't really all that good at editing back then. If I knew what I knew now, I definitely would have removed that and put in another joke, or just remove the line. It just kind of comes off as a little meh to me now. When it's a little cringeworthy when I listen to it now, which is fine. You know, you can be upset with your younger self for doing stuff you wouldn't do now. That makes sense. You know, you're not always going to be the same person. The more you know. Hi, Mom. So, Point Man's Mind, you know, I went through that. Had very few planned jokes. I think some of the Homestuck stuff was planned. Oh, yeah, I actually, like, got other people to do some voices for me in that original one, but never really talk about that. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember the situation. I was part of a forum at the time, and I was just looking for people who could match some voices or do things in a fun way. I'm just babbling about all the different subjects that could come to mind related to the series. There's a lot in my head, but there's a lot I forgot. Oh, I suppose I could talk a little bit about... Can I possess that? Nope, he died. I could talk a little bit about the personality of Point Man. Personality of Point Man was originally just me, but very angry. You know, just not having a good time. And that's how the voice came up. You notice my voice is just kind of more medium. Point Man is kind of more up here. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't really get any of this or why any of this is happening. So a bit different. Like I said, I'm much more of a mellow person generally. You can see that in the Let's Plays. And rants for Point Man, like that's a specific thing for me now. Like it's not just a rant; it's a Point Man style rant. It's just sort of this string of consciousness nonsense that barely connects to whatever it was actually being talked about or thought about, and you just keep going. It's all about just keeping going. It's all about just never stopping talking. Which I've changed a little bit. You'll notice in the new series, I'm not talking like nearly as consistently as the original series and Beckett's Mind. There's a twofold reason for that. One is that sometimes you need those moments to breathe, and not for me to breathe. I can talk for hours on end without taking a breath. It's a trait of my family. Coming up on the end of the episode. Okay, well, I can cover more stuff later if anyone has any questions about favorite jokes, if they want to relay things that they liked, that they want me to talk about, if I have to do another one of these. I'm very willing to go into it, very willing to talk about it, how I can talk about more of the editing process, I can talk about more of the jokes, I can talk about more of the process that went into making Beckett's voice, which you notice is still me, but it's just a much different voice, and Beckett's character. And I can go into the thought process of why the HUD has a voice now, as opposed to the lack of voice that the HUD had in the first two games. And it's not like a big, huge reason. In fact, I could probably cover it in time left in this episode, but I won't. Give you something to look forward to if I ever have to do another one of these. Is this just Point Man's perspective again? It is. It's the same cinematic, but just from... Yeah, it's the exact same cinematic. I had to come up with stuff for there, too. For me and Doc had to come up with some things, like, why can we see Point Man in these scenes? Because originally, a couple of years ago, when we tried to do the series, I was going to cut those out, but I just wasn't enjoying how it was coming up. It messes with the timing, it messes with the dialogue. It doesn't really work. All right. That's the end of the episode. That's the first let's play Fear Fettel's Path. Challenge summary. Oh, here's the things I did. I got 7 solo psychic links. I collected a doll. No, it's not an actual scroll. You can't use the scroll wheel there. Here's some of the things I missed. Wasn't super concerned about those. One thing... Oh, I also have more stories about other things we considered to do for this series, including having a second player play Fettel, which decided not to do. But yeah, I'm just rambling now. If you guys have any questions, shoot them in the comments. And I'll definitely get to them next episode. And next week, we should have another Point Man's Mind 2. Coming into the suburbs section, I think. I don't remember offhand. But hopefully you all enjoy that one, and I will see you all next time.
You still don't remember, do you?
Oh, right. I guess I should say that I also cut out this stuff, too.
Treated us like rats.
I mean, it's important for the story? I mean... I just couldn't think of a good way to add it in.
He tried to keep us from Mother.
Like, play Fear. I really enjoy the Fear series. They're a pretty decent set of shooters, and I think Fear 1 is legitimately a pretty scary game. But yeah, I cut out that kind of stuff because I have trouble justifying why it's visible to the character of Point Man. Alright, but we're not doing the sums. This time, I'm exiting for sure. Okay, bye, pals.